Tuesday, and I have 30 minutes here with you. As you can see, today our topic is about a bakery store in South Texas called Abby's Bakery. It's in Los Fresnos, Texas. So let's talk about this case. I want to explain what's going on with Abby's Bakery, at the same time give you things that you need to know, as our channel is designed for small businesses like yours, right? You may not be a bakery store, but you might be employee people the way they do or similar. So whichever way you are going right now, it is time to understand what's going on around you, right? As a business owner, our job is to bring you reality, to keep you posted, make you understand. And other than just your friend is okay, so you're okay, no. You want to make sure that in this big environment to know how you situated into it. Right before we start, we always spend a little time to brag about Community CPA. You can find us on website communitycpa.com, as you see, and those buttons on the top right here, and you can join us on board with us without talking to us. You go in there, you sign in, and then create your own login, then you can start working with us immediately. By the way, today is April 15, so it is the day to either file extension for your 1040 for your C corporation tax return, if it is a calendar year corporation, or it is time to finish your 1040, get it filed, right? So just know what day is today. And this is our YouTube channel. Everything we talked about right now, yesterday, last Saturday, it is all here. So you can find our webinar histories here. About our firm, we have 5 branches. One of the branches in Texas. So we brought you a Texas case, right? We care about what's going on in our community, so it is really relevant to our clients. And I want you to know that we have 5 branches: California, Texas, Minnesota, Iowa. So Iowa has 2 branches, so that's why it's 5 with 4 states. All right, I wrote 2 books, and may not be news to you, but if you haven't read my book, it is time to read it, because I do talk a lot about what you can do when you are an immigrant and running a business here in U.S. No responsibility disclaimer as usual, and this is a free webinar, educational in purpose, so we want you to just learn what we said, go validate that yourself, and go apply that to yourself. If you like to retain us to be your CPA, and we will be glad to have you as our client. This is Abby's Bakery in Los Fresnos, Texas. Beautiful store, has been in existence for at least 13 years. They established in 2012. And this bakery store got raided by ICE. So this is why we talk about why they get raided, what they got charged for, and to see whether that's a little close to home for you or not. So Abby Bakery in Los Fresnos, Texas, started in 2012. On February the 12th this year, the federal immigration agents raided in early morning at the restaurant, at the cafe, catching the bakery employees and also owners right on the spot, surprise visit. The owner, Leo and Nora, are well known in the community. They got arrested in a very unusual way, because business owners typically face charges for not doing payroll properly, but not a criminal charges like this. So this is a criminal charge, and they got arrested. And in some cases, we know around the country, the owner, also their business owner, gets shackled in the chain to brought to the a marked vehicle to detain them. So this time, it is a marked vehicle detain the owner and 8 employees using zip tie. You know what a zip tie is, not handcuff things. It's zip tie and, bend their hand and put them in the car. So it has really drawn a lot of attention to local because it came at the really busy time. Nearly Valentine's Day. It's early in the morning. It's always bakery, very buffling and a busy time, and it was done right there at that time. The raid resulted in detention of the 8 employees, so they might be deported and sent back. And the owner, and they were also detained, charged with harboring undocumented immigrants. I want you to understand the word of harboring. Harboring, the word to make it simple, it is to conceal. It is to hide. Basically is you assisting conceal criminal purpose records. So it's helping people to be in the to do criminal things. So harboring is a criminal charge to the business owner. Number one, you derive benefit from it. Number two, and you conceal, you try to hide. So those are the reasons they're charged with harboring the illegal immigrants. So here are the significance of the raid. So why, so Ying, it's not like it's never happened before. Why are you so gung-ho about it? No, it is not happening this way always. There's always good reason for the businesses to be raided because they're dealing with drugs and, so long ago, 20 years ago maybe, I have worked in a case where the government agency raided a grocery store for drug selling and drug dealing. And they went through the grocery store, looked at all the aisles and looking for drugs. The dogs were there too, and to help to sniff to see whether there is any trace of drugs, and actually none. So then that was done, but without a result, so nobody get charged. But those are raid that's happening, and is for a good reason. But this one, so we want you to understand that who went to the store. The people who went to get hold of these 10 people, they're from Homeland Security Investigations. So they are abbreviated as HSI, a division of U.S. Immigrant and Custom Enforcement, ICE, a division of ICE responsible for investigating immigration-related crimes. Part of the border, secure our border effort to crack down on business employee undocumented workers. But I want to say that even though it is, obviously Los Fresnos is South Texas is close to the border, but actually it happens all over the country. I didn't make a list for you here, but I knew there are a lot of them out there, and it was conducted this way. And this incident highlights the ongoing issue related to immigration enforcement and the employment of undocumented workers in the United States, especially by small business owners in the region where they couldn't find workers, and they're finding the immigrant populations. The prosecutions of the businesses that employs undocumented workers were not common. It's rare, but not anymore. We are saying that it's rare just because people are comparing to the first term of Trump's presidency and up to today, right? Including 4 years Biden's time. But ICE, the Immigration and the Custom Enforcement, ICE reported that they made 32,809 arrests in 50 days of time after Trump took the office. In 50 days. less than a month and about a month and a half, less than 2 months, they have arrested 32,809. So daily average is 656. So charging the business owner with criminal conduct of harboring illegal immigrants, that was not often done, but is coming. So we want to bring that to you so you understand the significance. What is going to happen to Leo and Nora, the owner of the Abby's Bakery? So of course the employee, you already know, they got detained, they sent to the camp, and they're going to go off the country. And out of the 8 people, there are 6 of them with proper visa. It's just expired visa. So they, these 6, obviously, and plus the other 2 don't even have anything. So they all gonna be deported back. A federal grand jury, so this happened in February. So the grand jury returned a 3-count indictment against the couple, against both of them, for so they both are green card holders, just so you know. So they both are legal. The owner are Mexico couple with green card, and they, they could even face deportation at this point. So they have 5 children born in U.S. They're U.S. citizens. The owner admitted that they knew those employees were undocumented. The owner pleaded not guilty for harboring the illegal immigrant. Their attorney noted that the workers were not held against their will. So they're not getting them illegally and force them to work, take advantage of them. So they are not. There is no attempt to hide their presence. So as smugglers would do, right? So smugglers would be prosecuted, and they're guilty, but the couple denied, they plead not guilty. So if their attorney fails, they get convicted. So they're facing 10 years in federal prison, and also plus a fine up to $250,000. So Leo and Nora right now is unbound. They came out of the detention place. I wouldn't call it jail because it's a little different, jail and the detention place. They're out of there unbound. So they paid in money to make sure that they can come out, they don't run away. So they also the ICE allowed them to reopen the store as long as they do everything legally. So that is the current status. The store reopened, and they're unbound. They're going through these litigations to debate whether they're harboring the illegal immigrant or merely just not following rules and regulations related to payroll side of things to hire employees. So what are the possible penalties? And I want to show it to you. So the penalties are twofold. One is what we called, business owners found in violation of the law may face civil penalties, right? They're just money. That's money, and you pay money, and you walk away from it, and just make sure you can't make the same mistake again, because that penalty can be huge, up to $25,076 per unauthorized person. If you keep on doing that, right? But criminal is different. Criminal penalty generally has a 3 category. And the general harboring offenses, up to 5 years in prison, and then a commercial advantage or financial gain of harboring, which is more of if you are harboring was done for some financial gains. For example, you don't pay them, and you just make them work like a slavery of them. So that penalty can be 10 years in prison and per person that you harbored. then enhanced penalty is even greater, so up to 20 years in prison if harboring result in serious bodily injury and endanger other people's life. So I will just say this to you, that can easily happen if you're in construction and you provide your undocumented worker with a place to live, and this worker died in an accident, you are in jail for 20 years. This is what the business owner is facing. What are the recommended steps for employers? You want to renew all employees' I-9 forms, right? If they're employees, you really need to renew all of them. Consult with the immigration attorney if you need to get their data, their visa stated, and making sure that you hire people properly. And if they are your subcontractors, and you should have a contract, shouldn't you? And you should be paying according to the contract. And the one thing I would recommend that to you, I mentioned that here, I mentioned that later again, which is that if you have a subcontractor, have them form a company. Have them form a company here in United States of America, and have you pay to the company and not to that individual, so you don't get involved with the reclassification issues when IRS coming into you. Learn from Leo and Nora's experiences. This is where I want to focus your attention today. So we learned that story, right? It's very unfortunate. I know that could happen to a lot of you who is listening to me today. And let's make sure we buckle down and get things done right? I always say that if you really care to make your business going through generations, make your legacy heard and extended, you got to do things based on the compliance requirement. There's just no shortcut. It doesn't matter Trump is the president or Biden is the president. And if you don't do it according to the rule, anybody, for all kind of excuses can come in to shut you down. That's just how it is. So in payroll, this is our recommendation. You learn from Leo and Nora's experience. On payroll, you have this W-499. You want to have them regardless. I know you are not in the business to verify whether your W-4 I-9 was filled out correctly, truthfully. That's not even your business, and you are not immigration enforcement agency. Some of us can tell from the documentation whether it is real or not real, but if you can tell, you can tell. But your requirement for you is you must have them. You must have W-4, you must have I-9 in file for you to run payroll for this employee, right? And wages compliance is also important, whether you're paying minimum wage, did you do tips right, and did you pay overtime? Those are DOL. Right now, DOL, Department of Labor's audit, is related to immigration enforcement agency. ICE come to you after you get audited by DOL. They discover you have undocumented worker that on your book. So that's just how it is. I say it with proof. So I knew that is how it goes. And you may not Google it out whether they're related. They may even give you some newses or logics from before. But this is not before. This is today. I'm not talking about tomorrow. Yesterday, I mean. So with that said, you know that payroll side, you have responsibilities. And really getting into a payroll, go find a professional payroll processors like our community CPA. We run payroll all over the country, so you can sign us up, and to be your payroll processor, we will tell you, you have to have this or we don't run your payroll. So by doing that to you will force you to do it right? Subcontractors and contractors, you need to have a W-7 and a contract in file. Two things, contract and W-7. And this is required because you need to pay based on the contract, and you want to make sure that your subcontractors are not individual with the IT number or social security number. You want your subcontractors has a proper business, you pay them through the business name. That is really the ultimate, that's the ultimate solution for you in terms of not having IRS come around, goes, well, these subcontractors is employee, you forgot to pay your social security, Medicare, so all of these, catch up that you have to do on taxes. So make sure you have them be a company instead of just individual. Maintaining your books and record, financial statement and the tax files are super important. You say, well, I have a small business, I don't even need it. I can just write down my income, my expense. You know what? When you get audited or when you get the compliance review, and what they are asking you is the financial statement. They did not ask you for a piece of paper with your handwriting notes on it. Of course you can submit that, but that's just not a strong defense. Like you don't have a good shield. You have a paper-thin shield, anyone can pick on you and say your book is not accurate. You owe too much of income tax. Therefore, I'm referring you to DOL, to ICE, because I suspect you're not doing it right. There's just so many ways. The government can take you down, right? By just simply assuming you have those issues. All right, the last but not the least. So respond to compliance and audit timely. Do not drag. Do not drag. When you see those notices come to you, I know how you feel. I know how much you want to just not seeing it, pretend it didn't happen. The wrong way to do it is to drag it. So you want to immediately looking for professional help, okay? And I would recommend our folks to look for professional help instead of trying to cure that yourself. You may be not doing anything wrong. You may be doing everything correct. But if you don't represent yourself and you don't display your document properly, and you could still at fault, right? So what we're saying is that when you have these type of audit compliance coming in and they're treated seriously, knows that you should find professional help. Audit from IRS is serious. Audit from DOL is serious. Those are the things more serious today than ever, because that can lead to detrimental experiences that Leo and Nora has today. If you are worried, I know that, when I give these kind of webinars, I bring a lot of worry to you. I understand. I am as worried for you as you are worried for yourself. I understand. I understand the small business world, how things are going, and look for professionals whom you can trust. You can trust Community CPA. You can trust many other CPAs, attorneys that you worked with for years. Those people, they know you. They know you is very important. Not just you trust them, they also need to trust you to represent you. Okay? The benefit of Community CPA, because we're made up by people like you. So we have our DNA already with you. We're in your community. How could we not understand what our community are experiencing? So there's no question about it. But again, if your service provider don't understand your culture, your community, and far away from where you live, maybe they don't understand how to represent you. So finding the one that you can trust, okay? And start to restructure your taxes and reorganize your books and record. Do not wait. Same thing, do not drag. Do it tomorrow. Do it right away. You can start in 2025, right? So restructure taxes just means that maybe right now you're running as a partnership. That may not be a good one. and based on your situation. And maybe right now you are just doing a piece of paper, running your payment to your employee without withholding properly. So your books and record is a mess. So reorganize them. And coming into professional office, getting it done properly. And review your workforce situation with professionals and discover ways to comply. Your people you hired and how everyone is working in your firm. Are they working properly? Do they have status? And are they contractor or employee? And the way you are doing it, is that in compliance with rules and regulations that are out there? Do you have any reasons or maybe opportunities for ICE to classify you as harboring the non-documented immigrants? Just answer those questions. If you cannot go back to sleep soundly, worried about things, then you should start planning, should start doing something different. Follow our YouTube channel to learn more things that are related to you, because we talk about things that pops up every day. We don't just give you college knowledge or government website announcement. We address individual situations, just like Abby's Bakery. Abby's Bakery have hired 8 employees without work permit and also provided a house to them, so they all live in the same place. So that qualified harboring. Are you doing that right now? What are you doing? If this applies to you or not, you know the answer. Just make sure you take care of yourself, right? And find professional to help you. This is our website. No, this is our YouTube channel. So youtube.com, and then at Community CPA, you'll find us. So I just simply put in asset protection. So I was searching, right? I put in asset protection. So there's a whole list of videos come up, and I only screenshot the top one. And you can actually find everything here. Asset protection is extremely important. For Leo and Abby, it's extremely important. Imagine that if they are convicted, they're going to go to jail for 10 years. And who is going to run the business? And is the business going to be sold? And who is going to hold the asset? So all of these will be planned out. And they are doing that right now. So you don't wait to do that. You get that prepared now, just in case you went out of the country, could not come back in, or you get deported, or your naturalized citizenship get canceled. So those are all in Trump administration's playbook, right? They talked about how they can do that. So just be cautious. That's all I can say, right? These are our partners at Community CPA, so you can tap into us for questions related to what we are good at. And I hope that you learned something from Leo and Abby's case. And this is Catherine at communitycpa.com. That's the email. You can email your desire to. You want to hear this? Email to her, so she will work on getting that into our talk if it is something we have something to say about, like this raid happened to Abby's bakery. All right. I hope you learned a little bit of how to protect yourself, how to examine your existing business, make sure that you're doing everything above the board, above the table, and following the rules regulation that came out right now. And know the environment, know what to do to protect your asset, protect your family, protect your business. I'll see you again on Saturday. Bye-bye.